Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Her Accountability Coach. Today's episode is all about time management. I read a case study years ago that said if you're bad with time, more than likely you're bad with money. Why? Time management is a discipline act. And I'm learning. Discipline is a decision. You decide to do something or not to do it. Yes, we have bad days, we have good days. But making a decision and standing on it makes you an affirmative adult. A lot of us never learned adulting the proper way. We became an adult and we became more rebellious. We became an adult and we became undisciplined. Many of us, we were raised in strict homes, meaning you went to bed at a certain time, you woke up at a certain time, when spoken to, you spoke back. A lot of us were raised in homes that required respect and that demanded respect. But the older we got, we rebelled due to our own belief of, okay, I'm grown, I don't have to listen to nobody, tomorrow's another day. But we always have to take into account tomorrow's not promised. So why treat today like tomorrow is a guarantee? I learned this very young. If I ever wanted to be something and wanted something out of life, I had to learn discipline. I had to learn what it looked like to be an adult, meaning all the things I don't like doing have to be done first. All the things that cause me distress, make me upset, I have to do first. That was a part of my adulting. However you see your adulting journey, especially if you say you want to live a wealthy life to where money is not an option, okay? This means you have to hit the button on restart and say, okay, what is in me that's causing me not to be disciplined? Because if you're a disciplined person, your 2 o'clock is your 2 o'clock, your 3 o'clock is your 3 o'clock. Nothing more, nothing less. Yes, there's going to be days that you're behind. It's not your fault. It's your fault. All of that. But at the end of the day, being on time is a decision. I'm going to get up early. I'm not going to get distracted. So if you suffer from distractions, put on a timer, right? And get yourself to get under pressure and do it. All of this stuff I'm talking about is major decisions that we make in life. Major decisions. I learned something. When I became a mom, I had my parents. So my dad would come in my room, Vaughn, get up. You know, my mom was home, helped me 100%. So when I decided, okay, I'm leaving and I'm starting my adulting journey, I realized that the stuff I struggled with wasn't time management. It wasn't money management because I had no money to spend. So there was nothing to manage. But I still couldn't make a decision to get my hair done or pay my phone bill. I decided I'm paying my phone bill. You know, I decided I'm buying formula for my baby. My first baby, so amazing. His father, of course, is a deadbeat. And with that being said, it forced me into this thing called adulting. As a teenager, I learned, hey, you have another mouth to feed. You have to become responsible. And I thank God that, you know, his dad never helped, never contributed. Why? Because I was a spoiled child. So I was going from my parents' home into, into another person basically that was going to take care of me. Granted, he had nothing. So with that being said, I had to grow up fast. I knew, okay, get a job, finish school, take care of, your baby. But again, I made a decision. All of this stuff is I'm saying what I decided. So a lot of these decisions have to be based off of what you believe is going to change for you. What you believe is going to be different. And over the years, I've had to every day pray. I've had to every day say scriptures, every day affirmations. Why? Because self-motivation will get you there. You have to be self-driven. Time management is all about a plan. And a lot of us never stick to the plan. If you're not a goal crusher, meaning you set a goal and you crush it, then you're going to suffer with writing a daily plan and sticking to it. So as we see, all of this stuff is in an alignment with what I'm talking about. Time management is a decision, and it's all about self-discipline. If you know that you're late everywhere, pick out your clothes a day or two before. Pick out your outfit from the day that you got the invite that you know. If you take your kids to school every morning and you're late every morning, there's a problem here. A system has to be made. If your kids are not old enough to help with morning routines, that's fine. Mommy knows that mommy needs to do this stuff before she go to bed. I would rather stay up later, right, and sleep in, or versus having to get up an hour earlier because I was not prepared, because I was tired. You see? So a system is a system. That means every Sunday I'm picking out all clothes, all shoes, and I'm taking it by the door. That's the system. Or I'm picking one day every week and I'm doing this thing so that I can be on time. People look at people that are late, people that are all over the place, right, as disorganized, dysfunctional. And that's not the case. You suffer with making a decision and standing on it. Now, to go a little deeper, what happens when you tell somebody no and then you end up doing it again? You made a bad decision. Your no was your no for a reason. And then when you said yes, it all went bad. And then your first mind said, oh my goodness, I said no. Again, you're not disciplined enough to stick to my no is my no. Because you suffer with what? Time management, money management, everything is mismanaged. Because why? You have to learn to stand on the thing that makes you comfortable. People do not become uncomfortable for other people in other situations. Do we settle? Yes, we get into a settling match with our mind because we've trained ourselves to believe, well, one day it's going to change. Oh, it's going to change today, because today my no is my no and my yes is my yes. And if I have to be somewhere, I'm going to be on time. If I have goals, I'm going to crush them. Okay. So these are the conversations that we begin to have within ourselves. These are healthy conversations. These are the adulting diaries that we never had with our parents. If your mama was late everywhere and your daddy was late everywhere, we just think, hey, they're adults. They can come when they want to come. No, being disciplined activates the successful side of you. So for those of you wondering why I work so hard and nothing is changing, why I showed up every day and nothing. Okay, what didn't you do in that situation that you knew that you were supposed to be doing? Meaning, if you go to a job, every single day I showed up, but then you were late every single day and now you're asking for a raise and you leave on time. So your 5 o'clock is 4. It is 4:59 and you're the only one out the door. That does not show that company that I'm giving it all I got. Now, I do believe that there are companies that we have worked for, and it's no sense of being there on time, coming late. It really doesn't matter, because why? You'll never get a raise, okay? But do you really know that? I've been in predicaments to where I felt like there's no growth here, so it really doesn't matter. Again, but don't train yourself to slack. Train yourself to act like this is my 6-figure career, right? This is my 8-figure empire I'm building. Be on time, do the job, and go home. Give people nothing to say about you. If you're late, if you're dragging, you show up, bad attitude, because more than likely, if you were late, you were rushed. So now you're anxious, you're and it takes time to calm down. Now, if you're a slacker and don't care, that's a whole nother issue. But I know for us moms, it's the anxiety. Oh my goodness, I'm late. I'm driving fast. Especially when your kids got to get to school. Oh my goodness. The school traffic every year seems to be getting worse and worse and worse. I'm like, wow. And I could leave my house 30 minutes before the time, and I live down the street from school, and the kids are still late. I'm like, oh my goodness. I'm like, God, what do I have to do? Okay, I have to learn that even if I live down the street, I don't know what comes in and out of being down the street. I really don't know. I don't know if there's going to be a traffic jam, an accident. So again, I have to prepare my mind to say I live an hour away, okay? But again, that's a person in preparation. you always have to ask yourself, what am I preparing for next? Because as moms, our life is spent what? Caring for other people. Caring. And if you're married, now you have this man that you have to also care and love, right? So that's another person. So a lot of us never put time with care. Yes, every child requires a different type of love, a different type of teaching, a different type of understanding. So to be that super mom, we have to super understand that we have to be what? Disciplined. We have to teach our children be on time. Why? The same habits that you struggle with your kids are going to be worse because they saw you. They watched you rushing out the door, throwing everything everywhere, hair not done, No. My children, last school term, I was in a self-fight. I did not wake them up until I was fully dressed. They did not see me running up out the bed and all this stuff. Yes, I had a few mornings where I slacked off. But for the majority of my kids' school year, I got fully dressed to take them to school. They ate their breakfast. They had their lunch. It's already packed the night before. Like, I had to get myself into a system because I started saying, well, I'll just do it in the morning. And in the morning, I am running around, okay, like a crazy person. And I realized that it was causing my children so much anxiety before school because I'm rushing them out. I'm rushing them in the car. No, our slow mornings, they actually enjoyed getting up. They would get up, they would laugh. And I realized, I said, okay, I have to do better. But then I had to self-evaluate, okay, what do I do to make this better? Okay, pick one day every week, get them clothes up. The second thing is do a menu, okay, so that the breakfast thing is quick. Oh my goodness, y'all, grocery shopping for me, that's my biggest struggle. Why? I always buy dinner stuff, but I never get lunch and breakfast stuff right. So now I have my list. So now I have A list and B list, right? So it's either 1 week I get stuff on A list, the second week I get stuff on B list. Why? Because you learn to alternate the weeks when you're grocery shopping. Most of us eat pretty much the same thing within a 2 week, right? So they're not feeling like they have ate this already, So I try to go with a 2 week list. So if I bought it in week 1, I should not have to buy it again in week 2. And that's how I do it. And it lets them switch up the meals. That's it. So I have 14 dinners. We have 14 breakfasts, 14 lunches, and we call it a day. But again, that's an organized person. That's a person that has decided I'm going to be on time, okay? I'm not rushing. And you have to remember that you're putting your body under all that stress for that 30 minutes to an hour for no reason. Get up. Do what you have to do. But again, a lot of us never had the proper accountability, never had the proper training to say, hey, don't do what I do. You're watching a person that is deciding to live their life a certain way. So if your mom and them was always late, okay, you need to decide on this day, this is not what I want for myself. When I decided I'm going to be a full-time entrepreneur, this was the hardest decision of my life. Why? Because I knew I had to be disciplined, organized, and I had to have some type of structure to know how I was going to make this money. And then I had to become a student, meaning entrepreneurship is all about learning every day. They have tutorials, they have videos, it's like a major distraction now in the learning environment. It's the same thing with motherhood. You are on a constant learning journey, okay? My children have all had different personalities, and I had to learn to deal with them where their personality is. Like my baby girl, she's not a morning person. She will scream, she will cry, she will kick, she will sit on the side of the bed while I got to get up. My oldest daughter, she will get up without no problem whatsoever. You see? So now I have to learn, hey, I need to get Dina up last when everybody ready and dressed so I can deal with her on my own. But again, if I wasn't organized, if I didn't set aside time, I wouldn't have never learned to love and care for her that way. No, the world is not going to be that way with her. But because I set time out, right, with Dina, she's actually getting up by herself now. Because why? She saw the oldest girl now gets up. Now she'll just get out the bed. But again, gentle parenting is something that a lot of us say don't exist. I said what I said, and that's that. That's not it. You don't want your children one day to look back and be like, ugh, the way I got treated. Because, see, that'd be another topic. That is definitely on my list of topics. The way that we think about our childhood, right? The way that we talk about it sometimes, it self-affects the relationships that we have in the future. The marriages, the friendships, the jobs that we choose. So if you have anything negative about your childhood, be very careful. Because sometimes you get into this acceptance. Well, they ain't know no better. And well, I mean, that is true. They did not know any better. That is true. But you don't have to do what they did. You don't have to do what they did. So my technique here is, if you say, hey, struggling with time management, I want you to, every task for the next 30 days, set a timer and get it done. I want you to create a structure, start first in your home, of how I can learn to be on time. Pick out the clothes the night before, clean up the night before. Whatever you do to create your system, make sure it's on paper. Create a checklist and follow it and tweak it until it works. But you have to make a decision. This is what I want. Decide. Speak to yourself and tell yourself exactly what you want the outcome to be. Because sometimes we have to speak certain things into existence. Sometimes we have to actually put it on paper and look at it several times for our brain to get it. We need to learn to change the bad habit and turn it into a great behavior. I'm on time. I feel good. I'm dressed. Why? When you have great time management, you learn better money management. Vice versa too. So it all goes in alignment, because if you waste time, you're wasting money too. Just think, if you're late to work and you have to clock in, more than likely they'll take it off of your check. If you are hourly, if you're salary, then okay. But if you're salary and you get evaluated, more than likely you're going to get fired. So, or a warning, so now it makes your work environment toxic, okay? So at the end of the day, you have to now sit down and decide what you want your morning to look like, your afternoon, and your night, and stick to your routine. What is my morning routine? My night routine? Why? When I set routines, I was super successful because I had a guide, okay? And I had a checklist to check this off the box, check that off the box. And then I began to see how my life began to change. And I said, oh my goodness, I love this. And I began to teach other people how to do this in their businesses, not knowing 10 years later, I would actually become the therapist and get into the mental side of why this continues to happen. So everything I did was to bring me to today on this podcast. And this morning I was so excited to record because I was like, oh my goodness, this thing is coming together, because I had my own tools. I have my own techniques. So we're starting a new thing. Our blog now is going to be called Adulting Diaries. And in Adulting Diaries, every podcast I record is going to have homework. Okay? So you're going to now take out your own diary and do the homework that's on our website. You'll see a tab called Adulting Diaries. This is the homework that you're going to do. It will come with a download or some questions. Do the homework. If you really do your homework, I want to know that you did your homework. You're going to send me a direct email and show me your homework. And I'm going to respond to everybody that turns in homework daily. And we're going to build a real community of women that say, I want to change. I'm ready to get me to the next level. I'm ready to see what my life is going to look like when I write in my adulting diaries. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this show, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.